I've been holding off on doing this one for a little while, because there's a very good chance that I won't ever own a bottle of this stuff. And I mean that in terms of like a bottle from the distillery as opposed to this specific bottling, because this specific bottling was a limited outrun. But we're not going to focus on that one too much, because the specific bottle is not really what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking more about Daftmill as the ghost of a unicorn, for want of a better way of putting it. It is almost, it's one of those distilleries where, like, you almost sometimes wonder if it actually exists at all. And then you see it out in the wild and you go, oh, aliens are real, ghosts exist, that kind of a thing. And I have been extremely lucky to be sent a little bit. There are other ways of getting samples of this stuff. Most people will either keep this on a shelf and probably never touch it, or they might flog it, or there's a few that will crack it open straight away and maybe gift it out to people. Now this has been sent to me very kindly by Phil over at Whiskey Wednesday. It actually there's actually a sticker underneath it. I'm just seeing this holding up to the light where it says John Drinks. And then over that, he's put another sticker. So it originally read Daftmill W Club, 56.4%, and then he's overplaced it with Daftmill W Club Release. Curious. I feel like I've just discovered a caveman. Okay, cool. Don't know if that was ever meant to be read out. Sorry if I don't know, called out a mistake there, Phil. There was a thing on Instagram. Phil was asking people to talk about when they first kind of, not necessarily fell in love with whiskey necessarily. I described it as I didn't describe it at the time, but I sometimes describe it as a whiskey coming out. It's kind of like first being like, oh, maybe I am into that. That kind of a thing. But that's maybe quite a personal point of reference, because, hi, LGBT. But I sent off a tale talking about kind of like, my gateway whiskey. And I probably went a little bit overboard with the verbatim on it. And he was like, yep, that's earned a whiskey. And I feel his pain for this one, which is why I never went, where's my whiskey? Because I was probably getting it as bad. Retail and hospitality got the shit kicked out of them this last year. I know this as someone who's had the shit kicked out of them this last year. It's been pretty fun. You guys are animals. You guys, fucking hell. When you weren't busy making babies, apparently you were doing nothing else, because Jesus Christ, you guys have had a lot to get off your chests this year. I'm just fine, it's money in the till, but Christ alive. Oh, it's been an onslaught of just seemingly never-endingness. By the sounds of it, Phil's had a very similar ride of it. So, brothers in arms. So it's been a fun year, hasn't it? So yeah, Daftmill. I'm going to try some today. I'm going to talk in vague, ephemeral terms about it, because the whole point of this is just, this is me losing my Daftmill virginity on camera. Should start this on Patreon, actually. At least that way it's, it's sort of like, OnlyFans for ugly people. Could maybe set up an OnlyFans for Mo, I guess. I mean, licks his own dick a lot, so that's, people are into that. I don't know. There's probably people that are into that, unfortunately, but hey ho. I'm going to refer now, before this gets any weirder, because, even by my standards, this one's going a bit off the rail. I'm going to refer to James McLean's Wikipedia. There is a little entry on Daftmill here, under Da, because that's how it's a lowland. Historical notes. Daftmill is amongst the most attractive distilleries in Scotland. It's a neat, sensitively converted meal mill built around 3 sides of a square, with a glass-fronted still house at the base, a warehouse to the right, and mash house/tun room to the left-hand range. The mill building itself dates from the late 17th to 19th century. I've lost my place. The conversion, which was done between 2003 and 2005, was the work of brothers Ian and Francis Cuthbert, whose family has been farming the land hereabouts for 6 generations. They also own a gravel quarry nearby, income from which provided the money to convert the mill. All the work to convert the mill was done by men from within a 5-mile radius of Daftmill farm, except for the stills and mash tun, which were made by Forsyth of Rothers. The brothers have their own barley malted by Crisp of Alloa. At the time of writing, Daftmill has not been released as a single malt. Again, it's a little dated, this one. When asked when it will be released, Francis Cuthbert simply said, "When it's ready." And that is the thing that has caught so many people's attention, imagination, about this whiskey. They're in no rush to sell it. When they feel like a cask is right, they put it out. They bottle it, they put it out. Which is why it's so fucking hard to get your hands on. Seriously, unless you're Skynet, good luck being fast enough with this stuff, because it just goes. It's truly awesome. There's like ballots and all sorts of nonsense with these, and it's one of those things where like you do have to remember it's a whiskey. Now this is all me ranting before I've tried it. So maybe it is just that fucking good. We're about to find out. I don't have an age statement or anything like that for you, because again, I wouldn't even know the ABV if it wasn't for the coded message. How much did it say? 56.4%. I'm going to sleep tonight. Right, in it goes. I'm going to save a little bit. I tend to do quite short pours for myself. There was a thing on, was it Instagram? It was kicking around somewhere. And it was something like, be honest with yourself, how many like 25ml pours do you have a week? And I mean, I'll have a few whiskies a week. But it tends to be quite short, you know, maybe 20ml at the most. Usually close to 15ml. You know, I tend to go very sparing serves. And I just really nurse it. And that is how I justify my life decisions. So there we go. Cool. It is sort of whiskey coloured, so that's good. It's not been dyed blue. There's no glitter in it. Doesn't taste like sour cherries, I would imagine. I don't know. Maybe it does. Already, there's quite a heady aroma coming off of it because I'm not. I mean, it's near my face, but I'm not, you know, sticking my nose in it yet, and I can already pick some stuff up, which is interesting. So I'm going to go in with my snout. What the f... That's different. Okay. It's really... I'm trying to process what it is I'm getting right now. That's very unique, unusual. It's massively barley forward is the first thing that kind of struck me about this. It's really grainy, for want of a better way of putting it. It's like a hint of sweet corn about it. There's a... There's a savoury protein element to it, kind of like sandwich ham, almost. It's a delicate savouriness, but it's definitely there, if that makes sense. Super just like barley heavy. There's a kind of a Ovaltine sweetness about it. There's a kind of a malt background, backdrop, back spine, all chords. I'm doing great. It's a little simple. What I'm more getting out of it, rather than like a shopping list of ingredients, is a simple, basic, malt-driven character. It's the best way I can describe it. It's I don't know, it's kind of like if you tried making porridge out of pearl barley, I suppose, would be probably what that would smell like. It's of the earth. It's thoroughly enjoyable as a nose. I'm going to shove it in my gob now, because I clearly have nothing else to say about the nasal elements of it. Maybe when we get around to adding a bit of water, I'll have a bit more to say for myself, but yeah. Digging it so far. I'm curious more than anything else. It's very different so far. Oh, you slag. Waffle cones. What the fuck is happening? Ooh. Yeah. Rich, barley forward, a little bit honeyed, tickle of vanilla, quite woody, quite spicy, and then just kind of like stroopwafel. This is like a strange kind of caramel wafer kind of a thing towards the finish, and it just kind of sticks around. Amongst these notes of quite like grassy, vegetal, barley notes, it's like a farmyard in a glass. And then you went for ice cream afterwards. I don't know how else to describe that. It was a strange little journey we just went on. It's potent. You can tell it's a tickle strong, because nearly died having that. But it's oily, mouth coating, unctuous. It's like you took a bite out of a Weetabix. It's just so grain rich. I don't know how else to word that. It's like Sugar Puffs and Weetabix in the same bowl, because you were kind of like, do I want to be healthy today? Yeah, kind of feeling it, kind of not. It's a little bit fruity and tannic towards the finish. There's again, that waffle cone kind of a thing. Woodsy, herbal. There's a little bit of like sage in there as well. There's like a hint of spice. Maybe like kind of a little bit of a cracked black pepper influence towards the finish. It's delicate, but quite... I don't want to say agricultural, because that sounds like I've just read the biography and then gone, yeah, I'll just talk about farm shit. Smells like a tractor. I'm going to stick some water in it. Not too much, because obviously spare is in high demand, this shit. Oh, good evening. Okay. Okay, now we're off to the races. There's Parma Violets, Vanilla, Oud, not the Doctor Who alien, the, OUD. Although maybe that's what oud smells like as well. I don't know, I've never sniffed a nude. It's a brilliant freshness. You think I'm weird. It's almost kind of like the smell you get from when you, like, break up iceberg lettuce. That's weird. I know it's weird. I know it's weird. Let's go with chlorophyll. There we go. That makes it sound like I know what I'm fucking talking about. Let's go with chlorophyll. Why not? It is. It's really, like, fresh, for want of a better way of putting it. It's kind of like rich malt and barley elements have gone away, and in their place, it's much more bright, vanilla-y, fruity, and kind of like a apple and plum kind of a fruity, not like mango and pineapple, that kind of a thing. There is like the faintest hint of banana to it. Just kind of like chilling out with it. Elements of brown bread. Maybe like if you made a banana sandwich on brown bread, you know, because you were doing your kid's packed lunch and you hate your child, I guess. Oh, you want them to be healthy, so you want them to be healthy. There's a little bit of marzipan. I'm not getting waffle cone this time round. Well, that was on the palate, but still, yeah, a little bit of an almond kind of a character to it. It smells richer. Don't know how else to describe that. It's like if before it smelled like baking bread, now it smells like you're making flapjacks. It's that kind of change in aroma. I'm not saying that before it smelled like bread, but now it smells like flapjacks. It's more kind of like to give you an idea of the change that's occurred. That's where I'm going with that. Phil said I'm one of the up-and-coming whiskey YouTubers. You need to up your game, mate. Good afternoon. It's nighttime, John. Plums, raspberries, apricots, Weetabix, and oat milk. In a bowl, as breakfast, if you're an advert from 2009. Was it around about then when they started being like, yeah, we know Weetabix is shit, just chuck a load of other stuff on it to make it exciting? I always just like playing Weetabix. Am I weird? I'm weird. We knew this already. There's a popcorn element to it. It's got a... That's what I'm trying to get my hands on. It's got that starchy corn flavour to it. Before you've added like salt and caramel and covered it in chocolate and all the rest of it, you know, and all those like boutiquey ones that taste like gin and tonic, you know, before you've put anything on it, just plain popcorn, you've gone nom nom and then gone, it's kind of shit, it needs something. Don't talk with your mouth full, kids. Although if there are kids watching this, fuck off immediately. Beautiful, bright, fruity. Again, a little vegetal. Something buttery about it. It's like if you buttered lettuce. Let's face it, lettuce needs all the help it can get. Maybe butter will come to the rescue. I'm going to try that. I'm not going to try that. It sounds like a terrible idea. And I'm sticking with the 2009 Weetabix commercial. It's like you stuck a lot of fresh fruit on some Weetabix. I mean, I finished it, so that should tell you everything that you need to know. Comment down below, have you tried any Daftmill? Are you subscribed to Phil yet? You fucking better had be. Let me know your experiences with Daftmill. Have you had any luck in getting your hands on it? If not, What is your unicorn whiskey? What is the, if there is one, or unicorn anything, something that you've wanted for a while that you can't get your hands on? Mine's Tom Daly, but you wish you could. I jumped in with a punchline before I finished the setup with that. That's not how you comedy, John. Get in touch, Tom. Or Holland, any of the Toms, really. Man, I've got a type. Thumb this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if, I don't know, you like a guy with bad taste in jumpers, good taste in men, and middling taste in whiskey. That's my grinder bio right there, actually.